What's going on, everyone? It's Jeranism, back with another video for you today. Smoke and Mirrors, NASA's deception engine. So I've been looking into NASA deeply, as you might know, for the past 15 months or so, and one thing that's always bugged me is that their launches seem fake. So what you're about to see is some different NASA launches or videos, and I'll point out things that I see when I watch it. Then we can watch a ton of shuttle launches together to see if you think, like I do, that NASA fakes their shuttle and rocket launches. First, a disclaimer. Remember to do your own research. If you think I'm crazy and that all launches seem legit to you, then you can think that. All you want, no problem. If you're going to flip your lid because of it, well, take a deep breath. Relax. It's not the end of the globe. You're still going to be flying through space at 66,000 miles per hour. You're still spinning. The sun and solar system are still moving at 480,000 miles per hour around the Milky Way. You still live on a giant rock in space. The moon is still falling and missing the Earth by falling at a perfect speed that it doesn't hit the Earth but falls around it. So wipe your tears, delete your hateful comments, and click block or unsubscribe. It'll be okay, I promise. And so, if you want to continue, please understand that I'm about to make some crazy claims in the next hour. Am I saying that I know them for a fact? No. How would I know that NASA fakes launches? I have a hunch and a few ideas, and so I'm going to put them out there, because I know that there are many people out there a ton smarter than I am. And so my hope is, maybe they'll see something I don't. Maybe you can see something I'm missing. If you are a video forensics technician or you have great video skills, you can help find out the how. You can help find out the where. I know many will go crazy saying, what do you mean they faked the shuttle? How could you even think that stuff is fake? Well, for example, the past 3 images I just showed you are a radio-controlled shuttle. I'm thinking it's about that time. Yep. Pop quiz. Alright, and if you're wondering what the drumbeat has to do with a pop quiz, so am I. So it'll be an easy test. You were just taking an image, like the one you see on the screen. There's only 6 of them, and you just need to tell me if they're an actual NASA-launched shuttle, or is it a model, or a fake, or something I painted. You tell me. Basically, your answer is going to be real or fake. This first image is practice. It's, of course, a model, 6 foot 10 inches tall, so it would be considered fake. Now, let's get on to the real test. Here's image number 1. Real or fake? Here's image number 2. Is it real? Is it fake? Image number 3. Is it real or is it fake? Image number 4. There's image number 5. And last, image number 6. All right, pencils down. You have your answers? So, did anybody say that any of the pictures were fake? If so, you lose. And if you guessed that all 6 were real,
well, la-de frickin' da!
You either lie or you're under the impression that no one can fool you. You're just too trusting. The point of that was just simply how wrong their images can look. And I took some middle-of-the-road images to prove a point. Since NASA began, they have been fooling the masses. They know that people like things bright, and they know that people like loud explosions. Mixed together, and you have a recipe for deception. Now, if you come to Florida to see a light go up in the sky and to hear a rumble, well, they give you both. Now, as you watch this rocket taking off, see in the background how something is blurred out as it moves across the screen? That's the kind of thing I'm going to point out to you tonight, showing you some anomalies and other issues I have with the launches, and there may be times that you need to go back and rewatch it or watch it in slow motion. I'll kind of point those out, but just so you know, be prepared for those. Now, pay close attention to this helium balloon. Oops, did I say that? I meant shuttle. I want you to pay close attention to the launch pad below, and I'm sure you've seen before the roll program that the shuttle goes through or rolls onto its back. So here you see some cameras pointing straight down at the launch pad. During the roll program, the cameras should now be pointed away from the launch pad. You'll see here's the roll program. You'll see the sky changing as it rolls. Now let's see where the cameras are pointed. Well, what do you know? Pointed directly at the launch pad, exactly where it took off from. Just another sign of deception, and we can turn to this camera, and it's still looking directly down straight at the launch pad. What happened to its rolling on the back? So, hopefully you're starting to see and get the feel for what kind of video this will be. I'll be pointing out the errors, and you all will become like me, and never again see a launch the same way. Many will say this video is proof. Yeah, it's proof alright. Proof that we have all been taken for a ride. Now, watch here when we see we're looking at the right side of the ship there. And also in this next scene, we're going to be looking at the right side of the ship. Okay, that's the right side. See that black square up high and the shadow is cutting it right down the middle? Shadow's about halfway through the bottom of the orbiter. Until we go back to this view, again, we're on the right side of the ship. There's the black square way up high. There's no shadow at all. Shadow again, moving across the bottom of the orbiter. But again, we saw it wasn't on the other side. Here's another classic Jokes on Us. Looking at the ISS from 250 miles above the Earth, and now we see what the Earth looks like from 6 miles above. Should they look the same? I don't think so, Tim. But, speaking of Tim, let's watch Tim Peake fake his trip to space. Now remember, that little tip there at the top, that's where the astronauts are supposed to be. In a moment, we'll take a look inside, and we'll have a view from that point. Do you think it matches what we should see? Of course, not a chance. Now as we watch this, do you see the fire coming out of the left side? Where is that fire coming from? Well, I'll explain this shortly, but that is a projection error or a projection miscalculation. So we will watch this again in slow-mo, and please make a note. When I do slow down a video, I want to let you know, so if you look into the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a little slow-mo icon. And that's the way you know that I've slowed something down. Again, we can look at the fire that is coming out of the left side of the rocket. Certainly not coming from where it's supposed to be. And it'll slowly kind of disappear as the rocket turns. But I will show you that shortly and why I call that a projection issue. Now, we continue watching Tim Peake and his colleagues and fellow astronauts, Liza Lott and Loda Bull, and they continue on their little flight there. Now right there, if you looked real carefully, you would have seen the white tip fly out. We're going to watch this in slow motion again because it is some horseshit. Again, if you just look at this part here, if that is flying up and out to space, why is it that the items that are falling when they're jettisoned are actually keeping up with the height of it? It's because by this time, the item is going down. Here we are in slow motion. You'll see the white tip has already popped out, and then we got a disappearing act followed by this thing speeding up and doing who knows what before these four things are jettisoned. It is some unadulterated deception, a crazy lie, and yet people believe it. You'll see there, you can still see the tip way down below everything else because everything is falling into the ocean. Indeed. Watch this again. So you got your white piece already down below. It's already been separated. The tip where the astronauts are, we got the disappearing act, then it flies forward, then you get the jettison. And what do you know? Deception wrapped up in a pretty little bow. Here we're going to watch it just one more time so you can see right here as we pause it at the disappearing act. Where did everything go? I don't know. Guess they went to orbit or space or something. You know how that goes. And then it comes back. And again, how do you spell deception? N-A-S-A. Here we got the three gentlemen in the tip. Now, see if you follow me here. Remember that thing took off standing upright. And then leaned forward or leaned back, whatever, because then it was going in a straight formation. Now see this little thing that they've got hanging from the ceiling? It's supposed to tell you when they actually hit the zero gravity because it starts floating. Well, how is it hanging that way? Those are the way they sit when they take off. So wouldn't they be faced forward now that the tip has popped off and they're going vertical? Well, one would think so. But you'd be wrong because this is just another example of nonsense. Same thing with the little shadows that are in there, but mostly this thing hanging down, how would it be hanging in that exact formation if that's the way they took off. Another sign of a lie, of some bullshit. Sorry to say, NASA lies to everyone. Here in a second, we're going to actually see this craft hit so-called gravity. You'll see that pen jump up and watch where it ends up. Now, pay attention to kind of where it's at on the seatbelt there. The part where the ink would be was kind of right up high there under his armpit. So do keep an eye on that little dangly doohickle there. It is going to be important if you look at its location. But it will start acting strange here momentarily, as if this whole entire scene is not strange. But we'll be able to see here in a moment what that pen starts doing. It'll start to almost shake violently right about now. So watch this. Whoa, starts going crazy. Now this next scene, it's going to turn and show Tim Peake here. Now pay attention here. The Earth is below them. The black of space is above them, meaning that they're laying kind of the equivalent of their heads on the ground and feet in the sky. So why is the dangle bob hanging straight down? Look how the dangle bob is swinging over there in the distance. Look at the Earth out the window. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not that smart, but I'm not that stupid. Now here they are getting ready to enter zero gravity. So we'll be watching the pen and thinking about the lowest it can hang. So right now we see it kind of still in that armpit area. And what's going to happen here is when they do hit the so-called gravity line, I don't know, you're going to see that pen take a jump and then end up lower than it should possibly be able to. There you go. Look how low that is. And low. See that? Paused it there for you. We'll watch it again in slow motion. Of course, these are the little things nobody else notices unless you have problems. Deep, deep problems like yours truly. So again, watch this as it bounces when they hit the so-called line, which is probably just somebody outside of a big box hitting it with a hammer. And coming up here shortly. There you go. You see it bounce down, and now it's well past where it was able to hang last time. This is called deception. Now, since we're on deception, let me point out another deceiving little website I found. This is tate.org.uk, or you can just search for Tate in Space Live Webcam. I found this site recently, read it a little bit, and it says that every 20 seconds it changes the camera view and you're able to change it yourself. I said, no way. Click on these little buttons up here. No, it doesn't take 20 seconds. It takes about a second and a half, which is, how do you say, impossible. So you can just move this little camera around wherever you want. And I said, well, it's showing the whole ball Earth, which I guess there's no more question, guys. It is a absolute globe right in front of you. Pay attention. And so I said, well, how far away is that? It must be 8,000 miles, knowing what I know. So I go down and search and check, and it is 250 miles from the Earth. So it is the same distance as the ISS. Of course, we never see it. Of course, they never hit each other. But more importantly is the fact that the ISS cannot see but very limited part of the ball. But this little Tate webcam in space, where you can adjust the camera however you want in real time, obviously shows the whole thing from 250 miles. So, case closed. Earth's a ball. I think they're projecting launches and sending up balloons. I hope you'll follow along and see if maybe you might see the same thing. But something isn't right. I'll at least show you that much. And with me, and yeah, the whole world thinks the launches are real. I understand that. Now, as I'm sure you can tell, here we've got the smoke plenty higher than the tower. Do you see a space shuttle? I sure don't. Nice views, jackasses. Where's all the smoke? Smoke and mirrors.
Go.
Go, baby, go. Go, you balloon. Fly like a balloon. Go, you big helium-filled balloon. Go, go, go. Unbelievable balloon. Go, baby, go. Back and forth between day and night. Go, go, go.
Apollo.
And I didn't think anything could arc straight up in the sky.
The fumes you see is from those solid rocket boosters.
So now, let's watch as I show you tons of reasons you shouldn't trust NASA as far as you can throw the shuttle. Pretend it's not a balloon.
Once the crew are on board, if it looks as if they're in danger, they get out and head down this tube, specially insulated against fire, and zigzagging down not to some point out and away from the rocket, but to an escape room exactly where you'd think it shouldn't be. Three and a half minutes after they get the warning in the capsule, the crew could be down here in the blast escape room via that 200-foot escape tube, 40 feet below the base of the rocket. They find themselves in a totally rubber room, walls and floors, and they head for safety through a 6-inch steel door. Once they're behind that door, it doesn't matter what comes down this tube behind them. On this side of that door, the rarely seen blast escape room itself. It's totally isolated from everything around it by a series of 24 giant springs underneath the floor and shells all round it of steel, concrete and sand. It contains enough food, water and air for 20 people for up to 24 hours, and it's all around the edge. There are these foam rubber shock-absorbing seats, as you can see. The room is built to withstand the simultaneous explosion of every drop of fuel on a Saturn V. And in that event, strapped into your shock-absorbing seat, if your rocket did blow itself to bits 40 feet above your head, all you'd feel would be a mild rumble from somewhere up there.
Atlantis Commander Rick Starko maintaining a precisely aligned matchup of the two docking ports, keeping it within a tolerance of 3 inches, now within 15 feet of the International Space Station.
Is this supposed to be real? Who's gonna buy this garbage? Oh, everyone? Nice.
Atlantis now 10 feet away from the International Space Station.
10 feet from the Earth is more like it, and 10 feet from sanity, and it's about 110 feet from believable. And are we supposed to pretend this is in outer space, or can we just say it's in the warehouse? And if we're gonna lie, I'm just thinking we might as well do a better job, or
Atlantis now 5 feet from the space station.
Oh, now we're 5 feet now, huh? It's been about a minute since we were at 10 feet, so we are moving at about 5 feet per minute. Do we add that to the 17,500 miles per hour, or subtract it, or is it carried?
ISS and Houston, from Atlantis, capture confirmed.
Bullshit.
Station copy.
Excuse me.
Docking confirmed at 2:36 p.m. Central Time, 3:36 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, we're gonna need some help, because I believe we're gonna get beat up by probably a mob of very upset people who will not understand why we fake this ridiculous nonsense.
The mechanical maintenance and crew systems officer here in Mission Control reports that the final hooks are driving closed within the orbiter docking system.
Watch the left and right side here of the smoke, and you'll see what happens when you project images. Keep your eye on the right and left, and you'll start to see the projection. Oh yeah. That's real. Keep faking your nonsense, NASA. We're on to you. More fake propaganda nonsense. Look at the girl in the baby blue shirt on the left. Tell me if she is watching a shuttle take off, or if she's just standing around doing nothing. You guessed it. A super example of the projection. Take a look at the balloon, and they are projecting onto the smoke that's below it the fire. And I don't know what that bird was. Watch the smoke again, and you'll see more projection. Look on the right. No. Oh boy, that's some projection. Now you might be thinking, they don't have the technology to project like you're saying, Jaron. Well, remember, they're years ahead of where we are, and look where we are. So let me explain how I think they do it. Basically, I'll show you a couple patents in a little bit that are centered around placing images on smoke. So they send up the balloon, it somehow exerts the smoke like a smoke bomb, and then they project the flames onto the smoke. Why do they do this? I have no idea. They're a bunch of losers. The problem that happens is, if you look at this picture here, there is a sweet spot that you need to get the projection onto. That would be the pink circle there. Problem is, anything above the blue line looks suspicious. Like in this case, look where the fire is coming from. Way up too high. That's when people notice and then kick you in the face. So look forward to that, NASA. This here is a joke. You can even see that it might possibly be in the sky, this smoke-like screen, and they just project simply onto that. They're years ahead of us technology-wise, and they've been fooling us for 50 years. Even when we go way back now, it appears to be quite obviously a projection. My hope would be that you are like me, and going forward, we're now watching this in slow motion, that you can never watch another launch without this being painstakingly obvious. Or maybe it's just a sickness I have. Who knows? Here we have an early V2 photo of the Earth, and you tell me, how real does this look? Pretty soon here it's going to take off up into the sky. Now you see those clouds. Watch how the clouds morph from we are underneath them, and as we go up, we'll go above them, at which point you realize it's a bunch of nonsense. And here we have the shuttle coming in for a landing as it banks its turn. Oop, bad camera. That's not the shuttle, that is a model. Sorry about that. There we go. Now we got the real shuttle coming in here. Banking. Wait, what? Oh, that's another model. Sorry. Alright, this time this is a model, so at least we know for sure.
6.5 minutes from Atlantis' touchdown. The shuttle is going 2 times the speed of sound at the moment, and is currently 86,000 feet above Florida.
What? Alright, here we got another one of those little fun models for the kids. You can see it's being dangled on strings and is completely fake. There's nothing real about it. It is a model if there ever was one. Supermodel. It's like Legoville. Lego shuttle. It's a Micro Machines. This is a build your own shuttle. It's like Bob the Shuttle Builder. Ages 5 and up. It's the current Happy Meal toy. The shuttle playset. It's a Hot Wheels shuttle. You can get the treasure trove chest shuttle.
Atlantis slightly low at the 180.
I copy.
No.
Capcom Chris Ferguson reporting on Atlantis's ground track as it makes its heading alignment circle turn into Kennedy Space Center's runway 33.
Runway 33, huh? Look at that little model. Yup. Tiny little model, no jet engine at all.
Commander Charlie Hobop flaring up the shuttle's nose for landing, and as you can see, the main gear of in place.
Yep, a glider, just like NASA says.
Main gear touchdown.
Let's see if it looks like a shuttle from Cocoa Beach or a projection. Oh, clearly a shuttle. Oh yeah, shuttle. Not a projection, it's got to be shuttle. Yeah, clearly a shuttle. Look at that. I mean, how could it look any more real? I mean, if it was a shuttle, it would definitely look like a shuttle. And if it was a projection, it would almost have like a glow. It would have some sort of glow. All the smoke would be glowing in a weird color that just wouldn't look like reality. That certainly looks like fraud. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Jaren, it doesn't really look like a projection. It looks real. If it was a projection, we'd be able to see a projection. We would be able to see the missing pixels. It would be obviously a projection. Especially when you've got people right there, like these folks, watching it firsthand, taping it with their camera. It would look like an absolute projection. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So think about it. Anything that the world was running out of would be restricted, or the price would be raised. But there's one element that's still fairly cheap, and can still be used for everything from weather balloons to birthday balloons, and that's helium. NASA uses the equivalent of 450,000 tanks a year, and within 25 to 30 years, the world will have no more helium. I wonder why with such a shortage, I can buy a tank right now. Maybe NASA doesn't want people asking any questions. Something we haven't started looking into yet is the sky. Pay attention to the sky color in the next few launches. And in this particular one, watch when this balloon gets going up in the sky, and then watch it move left to right as a balloon might or a projection might. Certainly not a million-pound rocket. So watch carefully starting about here, and you'll notice it is moving freely left to right. See that? Moving left, now right, left, now right, left, right. Clouds stay put. This is some nonsense. It's called deception. It's called fraud. Thanks, NASA. I love space.
Okay, copy that. And
here you're looking at the assistant helium director and the head helium director. Very important jobs, as you can see, with the camera in your face, pretending like it's not there. Very important tasks. How much helium we got? We got enough? Give me a little more helium. Assistant, how much helium? A little less? A little less helium. Now, imagine the balloon or shuttle has a giant smoke bomb attached, and it's spitting out vapor or smoke or condensation, something like that. Then they shine a bright light right up to the smoke. Of course, if the light missed to the left or right, or if it overcovered the smoke, it can barely be seen. You can see that here in the sky. Barely can tell that there's the orange overlapping the smoke. But the part of the light that hits the smoke looks like flames. To me, it looks like orange flowing smoke, but it's reflecting brightly in the sky. It is so much cheaper, easier, and it serves the purpose of making you think they're sending shuttles to space. Upside down, of course. Upside down because the orbiter is probably some sort of glider, and a little heavy, and so it spins on its back. Notice that the shuttle just disappears. So, my question is, what do you think? NASA launches, 100% legit, 50% legit, 0% legit? Let me know in the comments. A great place to start is all the patents. We see Disney has patents for projection on smoke, steam, water, free space, thousands more. Have we been deceived? Could really use your help on this one, guys. What exactly are they doing? Of course, they've gotten better at their deception, so we have to get better at our detection. Email me any thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and share this video if you'd be so kind. Spread it around, subscribe, support if you can. Thanks a million, by the way, to those who have donated or contributed to our Patreon. We couldn't do it without you. So many more videos coming I can't even see straight. Till then, be kind, don't lie to each other, and open your minds, because there's truth inside. This has been Jeranism, and until next time.
Science, bro. Hiya, lads. Welcome to science class. Bob, quit writing raps in your log sheet. No one's gonna sign your ass. Okay, let's get scientific. Fossil fuels come from years and years of biodecomposition.